YouTube, because that's going to be, I'm going to be able to, love that. I'm going to be able to screen share on YouTube and Facebook, but I'm not going to be able to screen share on Instagram. But I will try and turn the camera so you can see some stuff that I'm doing, but I'm not sure what the quality will come out like. So we'll see. So today I'm trying something new. Maybe end up being something regular, like the last day of every month or something like that. Because this was a new one, I guess not many people knew about it as such, and I haven't necessarily created a very specific piece of content, but I'd like to do that in the future. So I'd like to get suggestions from people who are maybe want me to create something really particular, or a particular style, or particular something. I'm not saying I can do it, but can show my process of how I would go about doing it. And it probably isn't the best way, but I always think it's quite good to get insight into how other people create their content and how they make their content. So I don't know if I can check if I'm live on YouTube. Let's see if I can do that just to make sure. I mean, it says I am. Oh yeah, I am. So that's good. Have I got a live link? Oh yeah, let me grab it from there quickly. Can I do it that way? It doesn't let me share it. This might mess it all up, but let's pause it then. Share. I'm just going to share this link onto Twitter, and then that should be it. That should be good. Right, we're good. Thank you for people that have joined on Instagram. The best place for this is going to be on YouTube or Facebook, because I'll be screen sharing. Also, if you ping me any questions, I'll try to answer those questions. Can be about anything, but obviously try to help people with content creation. So if you struggle with anything, if there's something that you don't really know how to go about doing, then fire it over. I'm not saying I'll have all the answers, but I'll definitely give it a try. And either way, I'm going to talk through creating a very particular piece of content that I'm developing for myself, so I can talk all that. Love that. YK2K, thanks for the comment. Here we go. Daniel on the I don't know, on YouTube as well. Great. That's great. So if you have any questions, let me know. And YK2K is an epic artist. So if anything I don't know, ping it in the chat, and I'm sure he'll be able to answer and help out. I think tools he uses predominantly Procreate, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so this is just a space for watch what I'm going to do and ask any questions. And you might say it's the wrong way or there's a better way. I'm more than happy to get feedback. And obviously, as I go through, hopefully you'll pick up one or two things just about kind of how I set up my process of creating, where it's come from. I've got my notebook there, so I'm going to show you a little bit of that. I'm sure you'll be great. This is me winging it, so trying your best is great. So yeah, obviously I'm going to start in like a minute or two. Just trying to wait for a couple of people to join in, hopefully. Obviously 5 minutes, let algorithms do their work and stuff, notify people and whatever, hit do the usual things, share, hit the like button, press the love heart on Instagram or whatever you do anymore. I actually haven't been live on any platform in so long, so things have changed, and yeah, but StreamYard does make things well easy. Not sponsored, you got to say that nowadays, right? But it does make things a lot easier. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen in any minute. And before I do, if you want me to create or show anything straight off the bat, let me know. I want to make this as helpful as I can for anybody that's here. Definitely, it's your time, your space. I'm just blocking out an hour to create something that I was probably going to create anyway. So maybe two birds with one stone. Although I've got a lot going on. Mike, 2 screens, 3rd screen down on Instagram. Yeah, it's all fun. So YK2K, Daniel Running Dad, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you're creating at the moment, what software you're using, whatever, so that I can try and make it as useful as I can. Now, I'm going to be using Matty Fove from Jersey, joined on Insta. I'm going to be using Photoshop for this. Now, there's loads of different softwares that you can use, some free, some not. And I'm hopefully going to set it up in a way in which you can think about how you might apply it to whatever software that you use. So, yeah, that might be Procreate. Yes, it might be Canva. It could be Illustrator. It can be whatever it might be. And I know that some packages are also better to do some of the things that I might do. But it's also about knowledge. I've spent a lot of time on Photoshop. I only started learning Illustrator like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So it's just a little bit more what I feel comfortable with. And sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to probably do something. But I know that route, if that kind of makes sense. Okay, enough of this. If you're joining me on Instagram, YouTube is the place to be, or Facebook, because I'm going to be screen sharing. So that's what you're going to see. I don't know if I can reply to comments, I think, but I don't know if I can like a comment. So jumping back between Photoshop and Procreate, yeah, a lot of what I do as well. I'm currently working on another comic book project. I think I saw you release another page or something. I'm sure I saw a video of that. Love it. Love it. You've been saying about your comic book for ages, and I've loved watching kind of your journey. So if you haven't checked out YK2K, go check him out. I don't know what's your preferred platform these days. I see you doing TikToks and stuff. So Instagram, TikTok. I know you got a YouTube channel as well. So yeah, that's great. Right. Enough of this. Let's screen share. So to screen share, I need to move this over here, and then I need to hit this. So let me know if you can see that, if there's any problems. And when my head goes over to this side, I'm just reading comments and oh yeah, I can show this. This is cool, isn't it? I love this little comments thing. I can show when I'm looking this way, it's just because I'm seeing what comments are coming in. This way will be the screen share, and this way will be Instagram only. So thanks for everybody who's joining. YouTube, I'll keep saying YouTube is the place to go, really, because I'm going to be screen sharing. So just let me know if you can see, if you're on YouTube, if you can see my screen. If you can, just give me, I don't know, thumbs up or whatever that might be, however that looks like on whatever platform, just to let me know. But hopefully it is. And I will turn the camera if I can. I think this is it. No request to join. Not that one. This one. So you can see what I'll be doing on Instagram. So that's my screen, basically. And I'm going to be creating something using this screen. So it's going to be best for you to probably head over to YouTube or Facebook. Right. So I'm just going to talk through these three at the moment, and I can toggle them on and off so you can see. So over in this part of Photoshop, I've made like a template. So this here on the left-hand side is my Instagram story cover. Okay, this is the shape and dimension, and that is 1920 by 1080 pixels. Then you've got the Instagram feed, which is this middle one here, and this is 1350 pixels by 1080. And then there's YouTube, and I can't even remember the YouTube dimensions, to be honest, as a thumbnail. It's something like 1200 by I don't know, like 720 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But we're creating for Instagram now, so YouTube's going to go away now anyway. So what you can see straight away from the two that I have up on my screen is that they have yellow blocks on. Now, I either do yellow blocks or I actually do have a template. And if you're interested in getting the template, let me know. Now, the template is key areas. So again, so we don't confuse things, let's just focus on one for now. So with Instagram, when you're setting it up, this is for an Instagram story, a cover, a Reels cover image. I'll come back over so you can see my face in a minute. A Reels cover image. What else might it be? Used to be Instagram. I think that's it. Or Instagram story. Did I say that? Story, a cover image, or a reel. Yeah, that's there it. So the first one, let me turn off over here. I have two layers. The first layer, this one, is what would be good for. So you can basically almost create one thing, but use it for multiple things on Instagram. Anything that fits in this yellow square, which is the same size as the Instagram post, which is 1350 pixels by 1080 pixels. And then the other one is the square, 1080 by 1080. So anything in 1080 by 1080 will fit perfectly in your Instagram grid. Anything outside would be great for your post. And then anything outside that, kind of the white areas, will be utilizing all your space for an Instagram cover or story. This is really important because it's about maximizing the possible space that you can use on Instagram. And I'll be honest, and this is me being quite frank with some people. Let me turn this back around. Is that I see a lot of Instagram creators that don't do this. I see a lot of people posting on Instagram that don't utilize their space enough. Feel free to ask me any questions as I talk a lot. So hopefully this will help you. So that's one way of setting up these guides, kind of thing. And I have obviously over on Instagram, I have one for 1080 by 1080 on there. And I'm actually going to be creating like a story, or all 3 in 1 really, with this today. The other thing that I do use sometimes, and I have to come over to my is a template. So I've created a template a long time ago. I'm going to drag it in here now. Let me go and whiz this background for you. So this template that I just dropped in, it fits kind of, again, great on your Instagram story. So that's this. This is what this is, which is exactly the same as these two, by the way, but it's just the PNG file. The PNG file has a clear background. So again, and it also has all the sizes on it. So you can see 1080 by 1920, 1080 by 1350, and 1080 by 1080. So if you're interested in getting that, it's actually that you can actually download it free on my website. So I can leave a link in the description after this or something. So let me know if that would be interesting to you. It's definitely on one of my videos on YouTube, which is how to create the perfect Instagram cover image. I think that's what it was called. Now that was like 2 years ago, but luckily the formats have stayed relevant for now. So they're the 2 things that I start. This is how I start any post, making sure that I have my kind of my template so that I can fit whatever I want into each of those things. So the next thing that we've got is here. Let me just make this a bit bigger for the live screen, I think. The next bit we've got is to stay organized. It's always key to stay organized. And what I mean by that is label stuff, okay, in these sections. So for, first of all, let's just say I will create a folder, which is down here on the right, and I'll label this as BG, which stands for background. Which you probably got, but I'm just saying that's what it stands for. Again, if you have any questions as I go, just keep shouting me. I'm just going to keep talking otherwise. And if you're on Instagram, let me know if you're kind of preferring this. I know it's not ideal, so let me know if this is okay, or if you would like to see my face, I guess. But I'm not sure why that would be helpful, but it just might be better quality. So the first thing, I'm just going to get rid of those for now. And I actually normally put those on the top, and I also make sure that the opacity level is down on both of those, so that they're a bit kind of see-through. You need to unlock them. So I'll do that and turn that down to like, yeah, that'll do. And then do the same with this one and just turn it down, and then I'll lock them both again. So we'll get rid of those for now. And then we'll go to the background. So the background, first thing I want to mention is about branding. So the reason I want to mention about branding is kind of decide on your colors. Now, I'm a bit geeky. I know some of my color codes up from the top of my head, and I also know, and I also have them written on my wall, which is just here on a Post-it note. So I can pick different codes, hex, RGB, CMYK. So all I need to do is, what I would say is pick a few colors that you, even if you know nothing about branding, right? Even if that's not your thing and you haven't kind of gone down that route, that's fine. All I would say is you always have black and white, pick a gray, and then have maybe 3 or 4 different colors that you are happy to use consistently. Okay. And some of those just sparingly as well. So you might have an all kind of black background, and then just use your, like for me, orange in a really sparing way. So use white quite a lot on black, and then use orange just here and there. or you might have a bold color. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to add a gradient. There's a gradient tool over here. And I'm going to, again, like I said, I know you can set up your own custom gradients, but I'm always, like I said, going around things the long way. F58, 3, 2, 4 is my orange. And then I'll go and stick the same thing. F58, 3, 2, 4 is my orange. I know that the opacity down here is up, needs to be turned up. And then I will make this darker. And then I will press OK. I'll create a new layer. I'll do the layer in a second, but let's just make a so you can see what's going on here. Oh, I've got no blend in there. So let's do this again. Oh, why is that? That's fine. And that's fine. Right, let's go back here. All right. Going all the way live here. Hey, people that are joining, if you've got any questions, I'm just kind of going through some Instagram stuff. Best to join on YouTube if you can. Any questions, let me know. Right, let's try this again. See what happens. There we go. Better gradient. Don't know what happened there, but we'll go with it. There we go. So there's a slight gradient. I'll make it a little bit darker, this orange, to make it just stand out a bit more to anybody watching. Although it is quite subtle, and that's what I wanted. But by making it kind of like a bit more of a kind of don't really like that orange. There we go. Let's try this then, just to make it a bit more obvious. Oh, so I've done it again. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know why it's doing this today. Right. It's doing it really sharp. I don't know. We'll just leave it like that. You can see the gradient great on the Instagram. You can't see it as well, which is strange because I'm screen sharing. But so that's just got a cool background, and I'm just going to call that orange BG, right? Nice and simple. So that's going to be fairly bold. Now, the other color that I use is blue. But I don't really use blue and orange together. I either do something in blue or I do something in orange, and I use the black, white, and grays that I have. So I'm going to now talk to you through slightly. I'm going to jump off of screen share just really quickly, just so I can show you something. So this will be me. What up, people? And come back and show you over here. So what I'm going to show you is that before I've even got onto Photoshop, I've done some sketching, okay? I'm giving a load of love there. There we go. Let's go for a free to answer any questions. So in this book, this great sketchbook, it's fairly new that I've been using, but I have got some cracking ideas in it. I'll tell you that for sure. But this is what I kind of did. So I'll show you a little draft. Sketches. This is a new content plan that I'm working on. And you can't see that well, but if I hold it up, it's got some sketches down here of some ideas that I was doing. Some of the words and some of the sketches of what it might look like. So the reason I do that is because to give yourself some idea is better than going on sometimes to not always, but onto Photoshop or anything design and then just playing around, because you can end up playing for ages and ages and ages and kind of not have the clear vision of what you want to achieve. And if you're trying to work kind of smart and increase productivity, I'd say sketch something, or at least have the idea in, fairly solid in your head of what you want, and then approach your creative software, whatever that is, because that's going to help you not just wander around and do stuff. You're going to be going onto your platform with purpose. So what I was creating there was a quote post. Now, this is going to be evolved after this, but I'm going to design the post on here. And what I mean by evolved after is I'm moving towards creating a template that is quote, that I can bring into After Effects and animate so that the post is actually a video post and not a static post. And this is to get, again, to help Instagram. I'm not saying that you shouldn't post pictures on Instagram. Of course you can. Carousels do really well. But Instagram have actively come out and said that, you know, video is going to take priority. So how do I take what I would create as a static image and evolve that into something that might perform better, and that's to animate some elements in it. So at the minute today, I'm going to be designing the static post, but actually it's going to go one step further outside of this live and be turned into a animated graphic quote. But yeah, so let's change back to screen share for all those out there. What's this one down here? Oh, this one might work well. And I'll go back round for people who can see. Right. So the next thing is my text. The other thing I'd say about branding here is have a couple of types of text that you use fairly regularly. Now, again, work with someone on branding, that's better. But I'm just giving you some general rules for branding, which is have some set colors, have some set fonts that you always use. I don't know what it will be like, so I'm just going to carry on creating. So I'm just going to read out one of the quotes that I wrote in here earlier, which was, and I don't know which one I'm going to do yet. I'm going to go for the punchy one, and then I'll work around that. Practice using your creative muscle was going to be the quote. So we'll go with that. And spelling's not my forte, but we'll go with it. Practice using your creative. Practice using your creative muscle. Right, so that's going to be the quote. Obviously, it's looking very, very random right now, which is fine. And I can separate all these words, and I might have to, depending on how I position the text that I want to position. Also, I've seen TJS Creates was in Instagram. Shout out to him. He's way better at Photoshop. So he knows all of this stuff and more. So if you want any help, head over to at TJS Creates on Instagram and check out some of his work. His Photoshop stuff is way better than mine. Hopefully, I'm only going over the basics, so he won't criticize, or at least he wouldn't criticize anyway. But he won't show me up with all his quick shortcut knowledge that he knows that I don't. So first of all, I'm going to change this to white, and white is because it stands out better. I'm going to change it to the font that I think I want, and that is Impact. Now, I'm not saying that it's the greatest font in the world. I know that there's some people out there that don't love Impact or whatever, but I use it quite a lot on Instagram because it's bold, it stands out, and I've used it quite consistently a lot on my reels. So I'm going to go with that for now at the minute. Now, as you can see, this gap is rather large, and I don't want that, so I changed that to auto to bring it back. We might want that like 3 rows down. Now, one thing I've learned, and this is just from reading and practicing and trying to understand how to create like better design, is that like left align is way better than having it centered. So what I mean by that is by having your paragraph like this. Oh, so like this. It reading wise, it's a better design, I think, left aligned. I'm pretty sure I've read that, and I'm pretty sure that's the kind of way to go about it. And I love these tools up here, by the way. I know that they're really basic tools, but you know, getting things centered and stuff up here using your align buttons, shortcuts, whatever. See, now I need to check that that's how you spell, because let's see if I need to make sure it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's that. And I'm just checking that my spelling's right, because that's going to be annoying if it's not. Right, I've just double checked, so we're good. Right, so practice using your creative muscle. That's going to essentially be my quote. Now, going back slightly to the guides that I set in, you can see if you post this, let me get rid of the larger one. If you post this on Instagram, it's going to fit. So what I mean by that is if I make this really, really big, well, as big as it can go, we're safe. It's going to fit in there. If I was going to, put each one on a different line. It's like this. Right, this is a good example. And then I made it as big as I want to. Right, let's say it was like this. Anything outside of this yellow box that I created as a template is going to crop on your Instagram profile. Okay, so it's not gonna sit right. Now, if I take that one off and put this one, but it will sit right the way it is currently in feed. This is in your feed post. So this is what you see as you're scrolling past on Instagram. Let's get rid of feel free to ask me any questions. Hopefully, you can ask me any questions now. Just want to check there's none in Instagram. No, I don't even know if anyone's there. I don't know how to use Instagram anymore. So, not live. I mean, I haven't used live in ages. And I'm not sure who is on YouTube. But so this yellow box that I put in, that is a guide. If it was on your Instagram feed, it would fit lovely. But when you've posted it, it won't fit lovely. It will crop off the top of the practice and the top of them and the bottom of the muscle because it has to fit in this box to be good. To sit and not crop. I'm going to turn this back around because I don't know if anyone's there. And not crop on Instagram. So again, this is something that I see time and time again. Different creators that are content creators not doing. So don't worry if this is not something you're not doing, but it is really good practice to do it because it means you're utilizing your space the best you possibly can. And I've got a video coming out about this, just this in particular on YouTube. So I'm not going to labor the point too much. But there we have. So now I have to make sure that it'll fit in my square for now in my 1080 by 1080. And I'll make sure I center it as well. So it fits quite nicely. We'll get rid of the box for now. Right. The other thing I'm going to add in, I'm going to use text again. And this is just something that you can do with this is look for emoji icons. So if I get rid of these, I'm going to look for the muscle icon. I don't know if this is the one actually. I'm scrapping that. I'm scrapping that. I'm starting again on the fonts, and I'm going to go to these ones because the quality is better. And then if you go to, you've got to find it manually. So I apologize that I'm going to try and whiz. Basically, I'm trying to find the muscle strong icon. This was my thought. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to have a look at it as the design. Come on, let's find it quickly. We don't want to keep these people waiting. Here we go. Oh, this is the other thing. It's not always together. Come on. Come on. There we go. This was the one I wanted. So there we go. There's it. Right now, I already know what I want to change for this. So let's make this as large as we can and see what it kind of looks like. Place it somewhere. Have a look what the quality is like. It's not that great. I thought it would be better than that. Not gonna lie. Let's put this back on so I can see where I want to position it. Let me flip it around. So I'm gonna edit, transform. Let's flip this way around and see if this is any better. Let's get rid of this. Right, the other thing that's not working with this is obviously the yellow background, but yellow and orange are a bit too close. So I'm going to try and see what it looks like with my blue as opposed to, which I think you're going to agree is going to look better. And I can't remember my blue off by heart because I'm on the spot. 296. 986. Copy this. You know what? The pressure is on when you're creating live, I guess. Because this actually looks not great right now. Let's go here. Hopefully this is going to work beautifully. Yeah, we can have a little bit more. Let's go like this. So again, I think this stands out better with the yellow. I'm not sure if I like this idea now. But that's fine. I've got another idea, so which I want to show you how to do that anyway. I'm not sure who's still here, so if you've got any questions, shout me. The best place is on Instagram, is on YouTube. Instagram, I'm chopping and changing between sharing my screen and not. So I did think this idea, and for now, I'm gonna hide it because I don't like it. I'm gonna put them at the top again, and I'm gonna go for the other option. So my other option was to use a website to get an image of like weights. So I'm gonna check that out and see if I can find one that I want. Oh, that looks good. Could be that. Oh, could be that one. Could be that one. There's a couple of good ones in here, which I thought there might be, but I didn't know if I wanted like a graphic or a live image. I didn't know, and I still am not 100%. Oh, come on. Be a really, really good one that I want. Everyone's going to be like, should have done this before. True, should have. I'm just going to borrow anything. And I've seen a couple of good ones. So I'm just going to steal the good one. I'm just going to. So let's shout out Victor Freitas. I don't know how to say it, from Pexels. So that's the website I've used. And I will put that in the show notes. The show notes, definitely not a show note, in the YouTube description for people. And because I'll be using that. Right. I'm just going over here to get the download. Right. I'm going to chuck this image in. I'm going to get rid of this. It's just coming now, and you can see what image I'm going to pick. There we go, with the weights in the background. Now, I could just play around with like the effects of having this in the background, maybe. I'm not sure I'll be convinced about it, but, you know, using some of the kind of layer options. That one does look quite good. I could keep that. Actually, I'm going to come back to that, because what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just cut out this. I don't want anything else. So to do that now you can do that with a free software. You can use Canva Pro version, or there's just remove background, remove.bg, I think it's called, if you need to do that for free. But obviously, Photoshop allows you to do this by selecting the kind of wand area, I'm going to go object selection. It might not pick it all up. I don't know. We'll see. Zoom in. So quick selection. I'm going to try and add the rest of that pole and see what else it's like. I think that's good. Oh no, see? Nearly missed that. Oh, it goes a bit too grey. Don't go out. Might need refining a bit later, but for the most part, that'll do. And then I'm going to hit the mask button. And then I'm going to change it to what I had before, which was this, I think, with this. Still doesn't look that great, does it? Some of my ideas today are not as great as they could have been. So let's try another thing. Let's try getting rid of the mask. This is me, see, being well experimental. And this time we're going to mask, but we're going to use black to white, and see if we can create a good... No, that's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted either. what I wanted. I think I want that, but then I want to add my own little bit in. So I'm gonna click the pen. I'm gonna, oh, is it 50%? Hate when you do that. I'm gonna scale up my brush size. Trying to talk through. I'm not the most accomplished. And then I'm gonna try and fade some of this stuff out, which may work, may not. I'm just playing around with it for now. Like I said, it was an idea that I jotted down. This might work. If we then move it like this in terms of positioning. What are we thinking, people? How are we liking this? Are we liking it? Are we not? Don't know. If you can't see, let me shout you this way. I mean, I think this needs to be refined. The picture, how long have we done? 36. All right, we've got 25 minutes left, and it's, you know, it's coming there. It's getting there, ish. I'm not 100% convinced on it, but... And if I'm creating for animation as well, I need to think about that. So this is kind of just me gonna tidy up a little bit. Maybe I quite like that a bit. I think I'm not sure how much to rub out is my problem. See, gone a bit extreme there. And if I make a mistake, I haven't made anything damaging. I could just get rid of it and then go back and do it again. I might try just like a bigger brush and do it manually rather than... Actually, no. I'm gonna go back. Shout out to all the people that create stuff live, because I'm not sure I'm executing this very well. But you know, we move, we live and learn. That's what Simply Create is all about. Right, I'm gonna go with that for now, just so I can move on. Right. How many times have I said right? So let's just say that all fits. I don't like the text so much right now. I think the gaps are a bit too big. So let's try bunch them a bit more. Gives us, I'm not sure I even want it on separate lines. I know I did that, but that was to give you an example. Ooh, this could be good. Right, the other thing to remember when creating, again, just another little tip. I know it's not looking great, like just ignore the fact that I'm just kind of moving through things so I can try and help. Oh, could have done that. Oh, I've just had another idea. Right, I'll come back to that in a second. Is that when we read, so this would be what it would look like on your profile, right? In this box or yellow box. We read left to right for the most part on Instagram, okay? Not always. Some cultures, you know, read in a right to left. I get that. However, mostly on Instagram, and this is why in the UK anyway, left to right, this part is the most powerful with text. If you put it this side, it's not that it's not good. It's just that it doesn't read as well on the feed, I guess. And this is meant to be quite a powerful place to put your text. So the other thing is, depending on what you're creating, is to try and create your as limited amount of text as possible. What I mean is, don't write loads and loads for your quote so that the font is really tiny, because it's going to be on a phone anyway. So with this, I'm hoping for it to be quite bold, you know, quite in your face. Let me see. And again, I've got to remember the animation. I'm getting rid of this. I'm keeping this in the background for now. I'm going to just change the opacity like right down. But obviously, there's all these funky edges that I don't like. So the other thing is we can align it center. And that can tell me a bit more. Now, what my idea with that I thought of was, and also this is not, this has got more room. I was going for, yeah, that. That's not centered either. So let's just agree to that. And then this, right. I'm going to get rid of the text a second. So my idea was to do the thing that I wasn't going to do first time, which was to make it normal and put the opacity back up. Let's hit the selection tool, object selection, let it do its thing, and then add a bit more. If you've got any quick tips for stuff like this, let me know. Because I always do things that I'm self-taught, by the way, on all of things Photoshop, on all of Adobe products that I've used. So what my idea was, is if I then cut this out, which I didn't like the first time, remember? Oh, it left some over here this time. I want to, I don't know if that's changing yet. Get rid of all of that selection over there. Right, now we mask. Hit the mask button, cut it out, but put this back in the back as the background. And then your text. Oh, change this to was it hard line? Yeah, I think so. Get rid of the text again. And turn this down as well, but just less than that. Then on this one, we can do what we were doing before, which is grab this and do that. And I want a bit more of this. Now might be not enough. And you see, I think that's starting to look a bit better than it was. Again, I don't know. And also what we can do now is we can actually, if I put this back to normal, if I put this back to normal or no actually, just no opacity. This one, no opacity. And normal. You could have the text coming out from behind the weight, which I quite like, but the problem with it at the moment is I don't like some of the positioning. I'm gonna put this down here, maybe, and then move the practice a little bit up. And also you need to be able to read it. So let's see what using goes like. Nope, I don't like that already. Using, right, let's go. Let's position. And this is what I'm doing, just playing around with little bits to try and make it. Like I said, I did have the original idea, but it didn't really 100% work. So I've kind of changed it. Now let's try and shrink this a little bit. So what you want to be able to, especially with that, you want to be able to read it. And that's what I'm trying to see. Meh, I don't know about that. Let's go back to the text. I think the text is not helping me right now. So let's go back to that. I think we can make this text bigger, which is always good because it'll be better reading. No, I want to shrink it up a bit because I actually want to make the weight a little bigger. Right, so that's just it. So to create the kind of, oh, see, look, now I've unveiled loads of stuff. Damn it. Because I've changed it. Right, mask. So to do this text behind an object thing, we've cut out the object as one layer, then which is here. Then we've put the text in between it, which means it's actually behind it. And I'm gonna still move. Oh, still gonna move both those down a bit, so you can read it, or down onto the side so you know what it says. Obviously, we need to tidy that up, but it was just again a principle to show you of something that you might like to do. So let me just show you them in layers. So first of all, the background layer, which is my branded color. Then we've got the faded complete image. Then we've got the text, and then as a top layer, masked out is just this weight, so it goes on top. So it looks like the image is behind. The text is behind the weight, but obviously it looks a bit strange at the moment. Does it fit into our guides? That's our first guide. That's our second guide. Fits in lovely. And we're still not finished yet, so that's great. We need to tidy up this last bit. What have I got? 15 minutes. Oof. Before I'm going to stop the. So I want to work out. I just don't know what I'm doing with this. I'll be honest. To make this background kind of look good. Maybe it needs to come this way. It can't come both ways, can it? See, that's you have to get the thing out. So let's go like that. And then let's get the paintbrush, and obviously to rub out, you need it to be on. No, I don't want it soft. Just to get rid of that bottom line. And then maybe that top line is still a little bit visible. And then if we pop that back in, we can always turn the background up a bit. See, look, we can turn it. Let's go 60%. I'm kind of all right with that. I'm just not 100% sure of this muscle. Right, let's just go on to some blending stuff that you can do with text. So obviously the text looks fine now, but obviously to make it kind of like pop a little bit, you can do some other blending things. So right click on your layer, blending, and it's basically adding shadows, outlines. So let's just say if I was going to classic drop shadow, which is not very classic right this second. Because it's a bit all over the place, but try and drop shadow 100. So you can add things to make it stand out a bit better. I'm not sure I like this. So I'll turn that off. The old bevel was always an emboss. Have a look at that to make it pop. Oh, that weirded my eyes out a bit. Come back. Let's go 1 with that. And let's just go 10 with that, and then let's look at what happens as we look at that. And it just made that pop a bit. If I turn it on and off, on, or we might be able to push it a bit further. Don't know yet. That's a bit too much there. Bring it back in again. 5. Let's go 6. Smooth. I'm just playing around with stuff here. I'm just trying to make it look a bit. Right. So let's check it fits in. Fits in nicely. It does, but there's a bit too much space down here that I don't necessarily want. And if I move this here, or at least center it like this. This is where it should be in the center there. It blocks a bit too much of that. And then I'll shrink this a little bit. And maybe shrink this a little bit. If you found any of this useful, then please, or if you've got any comments, then yeah, leave the comments in. Let me put the banner back, which says, feel free to ask any questions. Now, obviously, I made this one up, but I'm hoping to do more of these. So, and again, I messed up that bit and I forgot. Always do the picture in its entirety. Yeah, right. No, this, because I missed that. Right. I think that's looking fairly good. I don't know about, we could probably add a bit more blending options maybe to this. I don't know what this is going to look like, but let's play around with it. Let's go outer glow. Definitely don't like that. Let's try a dark color though. And let's try rain it in a bit. Sometimes less is more. What's that? Oh, a bit. Just gonna get rid of it just because I can see it. Right. Let's go back now to outer glow. Don't like it. Right. I'm gonna rain this back in and make it real subtle. Right. Just a little bit. And also, I'm guessing it's actually coming in. This might be a case for drop shadow because it will put the shadow in the right place, which I think it is doing, but less than that. We're just like fine tuning bits and pieces that we like now. I'm not really. I like this. It's fine. It's simplistic. I like it. I'm still got some few things to add. How long have I got? Oh, 8 minutes. Right. Let's just go over. It's all gone into background, which is not right. So what we want to do is I then create another. This is about staying organized. I'm going to go guides, which I'm going to stick all of these in. Oh. I'm going to stick this in and I'm going to stick these two in. So all the guides are in a folder. We get rid of that muscle thing that I didn't like in the end. These are not background, so this is going to be add another folder. Which actually that was right, but and I'm going to call this core, which is like the core image. I mean, I would break it down into text and stuff, but there isn't loads of elements. Then I'll always have a socials folder, and this is to like plan where you want to put your socials. So let's go back to the guides really quickly. There you can see where everything's fitting. So yeah, this is a good example. Let's go here. So at the minute, this is going to fit in your feed nicely with this, but this bit here is going to crop out. But on your actual, when you get to your actual in feed, so when this is in your Instagram feed, you're actually, it's going to be included. Look, it's going to fit in. So everything's going to be seen. You're going to have a bit of a gap, too much of a gap up here, but we're going to sort that in a second. So let's quickly sort this before we do go. Right. So quickly, I'm going to grab some Simply Create branding, which is this, which I love, which was created by JS Taskis. Shout out, which is just really simple. I make it really tiny, and then I put this wherever I want to put it. Now I can put it at the top or at the bottom. For this particular thing, I'm going to find out where my feed would fit and where my post is. So I want to fit it in between these two. So I'm going to quickly grab it. I'm going to center it to make sure it's definitely centered. And then I'm going to just use the toggle up button to try and get it in that little bit of space there. So it looks nice and kind of set in its place. Hopefully this is helping and you can kind of see this kind of stuff. Then I'll make sure that goes in my socials because that's where it belongs. Turn my guides off for now. So you can see it's coming around. Now, I can actually take this image as it is and post it on a story. It could, just as it is, it will fit perfectly in a story. It will fit perfectly as a real cover. It will fit perfectly, believe it or not, in your feed and in your on your profile image. Let's see if I can show you what I mean by that. Instagram. Quickly go to my profile and I just drag it on my screen. Right, I'm just going to show you my profile. Right, so this is my profile really quickly. So this is what I mean by in feed. Your post is a square. And when it's a square, it is, turn your guides back on, right? It is this one, okay? So that's what it looks like in there. When it's in your feed, will then mean what it will look like in, let's go home, there. So that's that image, that size, okay? And that is, if we go turn that on, that's that one, this other one. And then obviously you'll have a story. Let's check out Babin. He's out there. There you go. And that's that size. Babin rocking it as always. I probably need to move that over quickly just in case there's copyright or anything, which hopefully there won't be. So, and again, the other place I normally put this socials bit in is down here in the same gap. So if you turn them both on, same gap, in there, and I might leave it in there actually because I think it probably looks maybe a little bit nicer, and turn it down a bit opacity wise, like 75. It doesn't have to be a standout. And make sure it is centered, which it is. And that'll be obviously quite a nice post. Now I'm going to animate this, so it might not actually work the way I want it to work. It might not be as in all the right positions, but it's definitely starting along the line. Now I'm going to add, I think I've got time, maybe. Let's quickly add a texture as well in the background. So obviously up here and down here is plain, always got nice gradient, but adding in a background like texture might be good. So just to give it a little bit more about it. So I'm going to use something quite extreme, but that's just so you can see why and what I mean. Try and move this closer for you people. So what do I want? Yep, I want this. I'm going to quickly grab a really extreme texture. So let's go for maybe not extreme actually. Maybe just go. Let's add in a cloudy background. This thing. Scale it down to what we want. Some nice clouds there. Look at that. I'm going to stick it in my background because it's not there at the moment. Stick it in my background folder, and I'm also going to turn on opacity, and I'm going to stick it on overlay a little bit, and that just creates just a little bit more kind of texture around it. Now you could say obviously I've got a bit of contrasting with this flooring and the sky, so I get that, but I'm just kind of show you. I'll show you another one. You could just add a bit more, like I do this quite a lot with the Spartans. So if anybody watches some of the content that I create for Trouble with Spartans, we use quite like a grimy texture because of the kind of Spartan brand, if you like. So I will use like something like this, which is quite harsh. But then obviously when you stick it in a background, you get rid of the cloudy thing. You do this kind of stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It could be some one of the other ones that's a bit more. There we go. This is looking quite good, isn't it? And we might want to layer that again and turn it down so we just have a bit more. And there we go. That's looking all right, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it? Is it? You tell me. Is it? Is it looking all right? Is it? I think it's looking okay. I mean, what it started out with me bringing in that, I'm gonna just do some adjustments on the bring up some of that contrast. Look at that. But then I am going to fade it out more. And to be honest, we should add some of that texture over. I mean, I didn't want it over that, but over this. And then we mask that. And then we can stick that up a bit. There we go. So it adds a bit more. There we go. Look, that's looking all right, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it? Is it? I don't know. Anyways, this was part and parcel. I'm going to wrap up now anyway. So thank you everyone for attending. Let me find the StreamYard. Let's go. Back to, let's go side by side for now. So this was the whole point of this series of lives that I'm thinking of doing. So please do, if you do watch this at another time, ask any questions and I'll get back to you. Anything that I didn't do right. Hi Leo, by the way, sorry. I know it might be a little bit late, but I'm wrapping up now. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you have. But one of the important bits were the sizes and the guides that I was showing you. And like I said, this now fits in loads of, pieces of content all at the same time. So I've made one bit of content, but I know it will work as a story. I know it will work as a Reels cover. I know it'll work as a feed post, all of that kind of stuff. Now I want to animate this, so I need to look into this a little bit more, how I want text to come in, how I want this to come in, all that kind of stuff, because this is going to be turned into an animation template at some point. But from what we started to what we got to, I think as you'll see that we definitely got a fair way along, and hopefully you picked up on a few bits and pieces when I was talking about branding and trying to get everyone to label their stuff, because it always is helpful, which is what's down here. Let's make that a bit larger so you can see. Practice using your creative muscle. That's what we're doing right now, but this is part of a series that I'm creating. So let me know if you liked it. Do the like, do the share, leave any comments or questions and all that kind of stuff. But the most important thing you can do for me is let me know if you want me to create something specific to what you're creating. I mean, I'm fine creating things that I need if you find that helpful. But if there's something specific that you want me to create that is in your niche, in your business, in your content that you think I can help with, then let me know. Leave it in the comments, and I will make sure that I spend some time creating that kind of live for everyone. Anyway, that's me. I'm Ray. This is Simply Create. Thanks for watching. As always, new videos coming out soon. Don't forget to check out my Instagram stuff, and I'll catch you real soon. Take care, everyone. Be safe.